21 books for 2021. Let me show you what I'm going to read. Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Zach with Zacks Books. Today I've got for you 21 books that I plan to read in 2021. This is not books that are published in 2021. These are books that were published 2020 or before that I want to read in the year 2021. I've got King, I've got all sorts of different stuff in this stack. So King will be more towards the end, and I will show you everything that I'm planning to read, that I want to read for 2021. Obviously there's more books that I am planning to read, but these ones are the ones that are going to stand out to me that I want to share with you. So don't forget to drop a like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get this thing started. The first book I'm going to show you is The Haunting of Ashburn House by Darcy Coates. I picked this one to show you because I think it's one of her more famous books. She's got a lot of books like The Haunting of whatever, like Gillespie House, Ashburn House, Floorcraft Manor, like stuff like that. In general, I'm putting her on the list because I just generally want to read more Darcy Coates this year, because I really enjoyed Dead Lake that she wrote, which was a short story, that was in a short story showdown. Check that out up here if you have not seen that video. Yeah, I generally just want to read more Darcy Coates books this year, because I really enjoyed the first one I read. So, yeah, the one I put on here, Haunting of Ashburn House. The next book I'm going to talk about is Ghost Story by Peter Straub. The only thing I really know about this is there's 4 older guys who meet up every now and again and tell like stories of their past. Some are true, some are made up. And one tale keeps coming back between them, and it's like kind of like haunting them. It was like an accident. I also want to try Peter Straub because he also co-wrote 2 books with Stephen King, The Talisman and Black House, which that's set up to be a trilogy, so I'm hoping the 3rd one comes out soon, but we'll see. But I've heard a lot of good things about this book for Peter Straub. This is one of his top, maybe top 3 books that he's written. I could be wrong on that, but when I look him up on Goodreads, this is one of the top ones that pops up. So, yeah, Ghost Story by Peter Straub. Let's give it a read, see what I think about Peter. The next book I'm going to talk about is Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. So, Danielle and I have been wanting to read this book for probably 2 years, and we just never did. The film is one of our favorite films of all time, with good old Ben Affleck, and I forget who plays the girl, sorry. But it's a really good movie, I really enjoyed it, and I really hope the book is as good, if not better. But the only Gillian Flynn experience I had was really not that good. Yeah, the story I read by her was The Grown Up, which I think it was a short story, and I think it made my top 10 disappointing books, or top 10 hated books of 2020. I can't remember off the top of my head, but check out both of those videos. But yeah, Gone Girl, I want to give it a read and see if it's as close to the book as close to the movie as it can be. Obviously, the source material came from this for the movie, so I'd hope it's pretty close. But yeah, I'm going to give this a read, see how I like it. The next one I'm going to talk about is Little Heaven by Nick Cutter, which I read The Deep by Nick Cutter, and I also read The Troop by Nick Cutter. Both of them were pretty good. The Troop was really good. The Deep it's kind of in between. It was a book. I read it. So I'm hoping Little Heaven can be good too. I think this was actually the first book he came out with. I can't remember. But I know The Deep was the middle one. I forget whether The Troop was first or The Troop was most recent. I can't remember. But I want to give this one a read because I've read everything else by Nick Cutter within The Troop and The Deep. So hopefully Little Heaven can be as good as the other ones, and we'll see how I like this one. It's going to be an author analysis because so far, like I said, I've read the other 2, and I'm going to see how well I like the 3rd one and see if Nick Cutter's an author for me. So, Little Heaven on the list. Alright, so the next one that I'm going to talk about is one that I wanted to read another series this year that was nothing related to Stephen King, and I had 3 options I was between. I was between the one I picked, the Game of Thrones series. We actually put the other one on our unpopular opinions video, which is up here. That was one of our earlier videos, and Danielle's in the video, so you can give that a watch. But Harry Potter was actually the other series I contemplated reading for 2021, and ultimately just said no, because I really want to read this one, and that is The Lord of the Rings, which is by J.R.R. Tolkien. A lot of people like the book. I watched the movies when they first came out a long time ago, and I'm really hoping that I can read this and enjoy it. There's 3 books in one. There's The Fellowship of the Ring, The Two Towers, and The Return of the King, all in this little nifty giant book, 1 volume. My dad actually owns a hardcover edition that's kind of like this, and I really want that edition because it looks really cool. So, Dad, if you're watching this, send it my way. You know where I live. But, yeah, I want to give this a read and see how well I enjoy the book as I did the movies. The movies are all really long, but, yeah. See if I like The Lord of the Rings as much as I do anything Stephen King. So, J.R.R. Tolkien, The Gauntlet has been thrown. The next book I'm going to talk about is one that would complete a series, and that is The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins. I read the first 3 Hunger Game books. I put this on probably 1 or 2 TBRs from this past year because I wanted to read it. I never did. I pushed it back because I wanted to read other things. And so this year I want to read this so I can complete the Hunger Games series now. Hopefully there's not a 5th installment that would come out randomly, but who knows. There's kind of been mixed reviews about this book. Some good, some wondering why the hell it was made. Which I guess is kind of like with me with The Dark Tower with Wind Through the Keyhole. I thought it kind of didn't need to be there. But at the same time, I know a lot of people think that it was very necessary because it explained more about Roland and his life and everything like that, which kind of makes sense. This is talking about President Snow, but we'll see if I enjoy it. Hopefully I do. I've been a little more notorious for liking books that everybody else hates, such as For My Buick 8 and Eyes of the Dragon by Stephen King. So we'll see if I like this one. But yeah, Ballad of Songbird and Snake. Let's give it a read. The next book I'm going to talk about might tear some King fans, but I want to read Devoted by Dean Koontz. There's a lot of jokes that I hear, like Koontz versus King, like King is number 1, Koontz is number 2. I am yet to read a Dean Koontz book, but I'm hoping to read this one. It's also involving a dog, and as you know, I've got a dog named Bailey, who's taking a nap on the couch. But I want to give this a read. There's other Dean Koontz books that have intrigued me, but I put forth 0 effort into reading because I wanted to read King first. But this year I'm hoping I can get to a Dean Koontz book, and I'm hoping I can get to this one and just kind of see how the styles are different, see if I can get into Koontz. Hopefully I don't, because then I got to buy a whole bunch of other books, but we'll see what happens. So yeah, Devoted by Dean Koontz. Alright, the next one I'm going to talk about is One by One by Ruth Ware. I read The Turn of the Key by her, and I really enjoyed it. And this is her newest one. I might be doing this for like a winter reading vlog, so you probably won't see this one until more of like end of November, December. Depends on when the snow starts hitting, which here for us it's starting to hit at the end of December. Yeah, it'll be more of like a wintry time one. I don't know what else I'm going to add with that. I might just keep it as just the one, but I don't know. Still deciding. But I hopefully want to get to this because this is her newest one, and I really enjoyed The Turn of the Key. So we'll see if I enjoy this one. So that is One by One by Ruth Ware. So the next one I'm going to talk about, some of you guys have probably seen a lot of if you follow me on Instagram, because I posted it at least once a month. And that is the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. So Grady Hendrix was a surprise author for me in terms of Horror Store, My Best Friend's Exorcism being absolutely amazing books. There is one that I still have not read besides this one, which is the We Sold Our Souls, which is the one that looks like a Rolling Stones cover. Looks more like a magazine. And then obviously this one. I've heard a lot of good things about this one. Danielle's been literally pushing me off a cliff for the past 5 months for not reading this book, and really has wanted me to read this book, but I just have not put the time into reading it. So I would like to read it for 2021, and hopefully I can enjoy it like I have the other Grady Hendrix books that I have read. So yeah, Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. This might be more fall. I don't know. We're still planning it, but this will be read this year. So, Grady Hendrix, see if you can get the trifecta. So the next two I'm going to talk about together because I wanted to do them together as a reading vlog in the month of October. And that is Frankenstein and Dracula. So this cover I actually got from Amazon, and I will actually have that link down below if you want to take a look at it. It's a really cool cover. It's got him on the front and him on the back, the spine. I mean, it's a really cool looking book. I really like it. Like I said, I never got to it, and I really wanted to. I wanted to put these together, like monster comparison, Frankenstein versus Dracula, and just see, which one I like better, or, just a video like that. So that'll probably be this year's October, more towards Halloween and stuff, because I didn't get to it this year. We kind of got the books later, and we just never really got the time to really do it. I think I got 5 pages into Frankenstein, and that was it. So hopefully I can get to it this year, and we'll do a reading vlog on it. So stay tuned for that in October. So the next one I'm going to talk about is The Graveyard Apartment by Mariko Koike. We actually have a Come Shop With Us video coming out soon that was supposed to be posted a few days ago, but our power went out and the upload has failed 3 or 4 times, and it has not gone well. So maybe the book's haunted. Who knows? But it's a cover by, and the last line in the synopsis on the inside is what sold Danielle and I on getting this. And it says, "You will never feel comfortable in an elevator or a basement again." So,
why?
Fuck yeah, let's go. Let's read it. So this will probably be another possible October Halloween read, maybe. But yeah, cover's really sick. It kind of gives us some creepy vibes with an apartment and a bunch of graves surrounding it, and I think there's only one light on. Yeah, there's only one room with the lights on. So, yikes. We'll see how good this is. So Mariko, we'll see how good your book is. So the last non-Stephen King book I have runs in his family, however, and that's Joe Hill. And that is The Fireman. I wanted to read this earlier in 2020, but I never got to it. It's his thicker book, and it sounds really cool, and I want to read it. I don't remember a whole lot about it, but it's by Joe Hill, which is the son of Stephen King. And, the cover is just absolutely, sexy as hell. And, so I want to give it a read. I hope it's going to be good. The last Joe Hill book I read after Nosferatu was Strange Weather, and I actually DNF'd it. I read the first, 2 stories, got partway through the third one, and I had no idea what the hell was going on in the fourth one. So I just stopped. So hopefully The Fireman can put me back on track with Joe Hill. Maybe I'll also try and read Full Throttle this year. We'll see where books take me. I've got a long list of this upcoming guy that I still need to try and get through. So, but yeah, Joe Hill, The Fireman. Hopefully it's a good one. So my next grouping of books are the ones by Stephen King. I picked 8 that I wanted to show you, but I have got plenty more that I want to read for 2021. So I picked these ones because these are the ones that I wanted to 100% make sure that I read this year. And there's plenty more that I still need to read. So these are just my top ones I want to try and get to this year. So let me show you what they are, and I'll just shut up. So the first one that I'm going to talk about is the most controversial book, I think, in Stephen King's arsenal, which is honestly not even published anymore, and that's Rage. I do not have a copy of Rage because they are all crazy expensive. So I'm going to show you the Bachman books because it's in this edition. Rage is about a school shooting, and a streak in the 90s saw a bunch of school shootings happening, and every school shooter who was involved, a good percentage of them owned a copy of Rage. And so Stephen King finally said, yeah, no, we're gonna fucking stop that, and so stop making the book. And so they did, and now it's one of the hardest books to find. You can find it in old editions of the Bachman books. The newer ones, they do not exist. I actually just got one from Book Depository that's one of the UK covers, and it's only got The Long Walk, Road Work, and The Running Man. Rage is not in it anymore. So I want to read this. I have to read it physically because there's no audiobook in existence for it that I know of, because it's out of print and everyone kind of want to just stays away from it because of how controversial it is and bad. But I want to give it a read so that way I can say I've read every Bachman book that he has published. There's probably a couple that he probably has written and just not given out yet still. Who knows? The man is a mysterious fellow. But Rage, I really want to get to it this year so I can be done with Bachman. The next book I want to read this year is the Bible. On Writing by Stephen King. So I've been trying to write a book for a while, and a lot of people that I have seen on YouTube has pretty much been saying, if you want to write, and try and be the best writer you can, read On Writing by Stephen King. It's one of the best books you can read to kind of give you some insight on writing, to help you write, and I really want to read this book so it can kind of help me push my writing career into full swing. I have a book started, but I've kind of hit a roadblock of where I'm wanting to go with it. The first chapter is really good, but I want to, there's a lot of stuff going on. I think the first chapter is good, where it also works as a short story on its own. I don't know if I want to include it on a short story or if I want to keep it in the book I'm writing. It's all confusing stuff. So, On Writing hopefully will help me, and I don't know, maybe 2022 you'll see Zach Bartell as an author. So yeah, On Writing. The next one I want to talk about is going to be probably part of a short story collection showdown between King, and it's Night Shift. I did not include the other one because I think this one's going to be far superior. The other one is Bizarre Bad Dreams, but Night Shift, I really want to read this because it's got a bunch of good books in it. Children of the Corn, The Mangler, The Lawnmower Man, Jerusalem's Lot. There's a lot of good books in this one, and I really want to get to it. It's his first short story collection. I've wanted to read it for a while, but I just never have. So, Night Shift, I'm going to give it a read. Probably comparing it to Bizarre Bad Dreams, and we'll see how it goes. So, stay tuned for that. The next book I'm going to talk about is one that I have technically started and have read a few stories from, but did not read all of them, and that is Skeleton Crew by Stephen King, obviously. The stories that I read from this include, I've read The Mist, Here, There by Tigers, The Monkey, The Raft. So I've read 4 out of the, I'm not going to sit here and count those. There's a lot of stories in here. So I've read 4 out of the numerous stories in this book. I want to get to all of them. The 4 that I've read, I think, are the 4 best ones in the book. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to be sitting through some books that may not be as spectacular, but maybe I'll read another one in between just to kind of give you some more inspiration to finish it. But yeah, Skeleton Crew, Stephen King, another short story collection. I think this is his second short story collection that he wrote. So we'll get to this one eventually too. So, woo. The next one I'm going to talk about is The Dead Zone by Stephen King. So this, all the way up until The Talisman, I've read every novel he has written, excluding Bachman. So I've read everything up until Talisman, except for this one. So I've read Gunslinger, Christine, Pet Sematary. I've read all of them up until Talisman besides this one. So I want to read this one so I can get up to Talisman and then read that one. But this one is a good story. It's got a guy who gets in a bad car accident, is in a coma for a while, and then when he wakes up, like, he can touch you and, like, see bad things happen. In the movie, they depict it as he could see, like, people's deaths. Like, he could see when people are going to die. And Christopher Walken does a good job playing John Smith. And I really hope that the book is going to be as good as the movie. But we'll see how it goes. I'll read this one soon. And I'll let you know what I think about it. So, Dead Zone, Stephen King. The next one that I want to read is one that I actually started maybe like 10 years ago, but then stopped because it was just dragging on, and that is Dreamcatcher. Not a lot of people like this book, because this is one of his post-accident books that he wrote, and a lot of people were like, what the hell is this even about? I absolutely love the cover, and the movie is actually pretty good, and I really want to get to this. I want to read it. I don't know if it's going to be on its own vlog or if I'm going to include it with other books. I do have plans for not so highly regarded Stephen King books, and I don't remember if this one is on that or not, but it will be read. And I'm going to vlog about it, and I'm going to talk all about it for you. So you'll experience it just as I go. So, Dreamcatcher, Stephen King. The last two I'm going to talk about are beefers. First one is Under the Dome by Stephen King. This is a large book. I read maybe the first couple chapters in it this past year, and I just never finished it. It is very daunting to look at because of its size, but it's a book that I know I can read, and I'm going to read it this year. I don't know when that's going to happen. It's going to be on its own reading vlog for sure. I'm not going to put this with another book. That'd be stupid of me. Under the Dome for sure is going to happen. I'm really excited for this book because, like I said, it's one of his larger books, and it'll be getting one out of the way. So, Under the Dome, Stephen King. The last book I'm going to talk about is a book that I've wanted to read for a very long time. Not like a very, very long time, but it's a book I've wanted to read for a while. I've been trying to get to it, but I just never did. This might be one of the first ones I do this upcoming year, and that is 11/22/63. This is the book about the Kennedy assassination where somebody goes back in time and prevents it from happening, and a whole bunch of shit starts happening. I'm going to give this a read. I really hope it's good. A lot of people really like this book, and I'm hoping I could be one of the people who also enjoy the book. So this one, stay tuned for it. I don't know how soon it's going to happen, but I'm hoping to get this done earlier in the year. I mean, who knows? For 2021, this could, if I read this one first, who knows? My whole entire 2021 can only go downhill from it. So, who knows? But, yeah, 11/22/63. We'll read it. Alright, guys. So that was 21 books that I'm planning to read in 2021. Obviously, I'm planning to read more than just what I showed you, but they're just the ones I wanted to try and show you and get to 100% make sure I read this year. What are some books you're planning to read in 2021? Let me know in the comments down below. Otherwise, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and we will see you guys in the next video. Bye.